let's do a ball roll. We're going to make this ball roll from point A to point B with a little anticipation and settle. And we're going to use the middle mouse drag to kind of make that work out pretty well too, work out better. We don't need 120 frames, and let's switch this back to 30 frames again. All right, let's compress this down to 100 frames. All right. So I wanted to start rolling here, but I want to roll back. So I'm going to make sure I give myself some time. I'm going to drop a key on 15. This is when I want it to leave. And have it roll. Yeah, to 60. Drop a key. And then let's move it. And let's give it 2 revolutions. That's going to be negative 720. That's why I often rotate it, because if I would normally just pop in a positive number and then it'd be spinning backwards. By just doing a quick test and I'm going to roll it that way, I see it's going in the negatives. And now it's going from point A to point B. Not bad. So one of the things you're going to learn, if you want something to roll, it has to translate and rotate the same amount, the same consistency. And I'm going to be modifying it and showing you what happens if you just buy off by a frame. It's how interesting, how significant that is. So I want it to kind of roll back and then go. So we could actually sit here and kind of pull it in so it kind of goes that way, then rolls. But we're feeling pretty good that this is working pretty well as it is, as it's kind of going. Sometimes the rotation, it might be spinning a little too fast, but overall that's working well. There's maybe it's not perfect, as you can see. It maybe needs a little bit more rotation, but overall it's working really well. So I'm going to go to frame 24. I'm going to middle mouse 24. 21 to frame 5. Drop a key. So it's going to be at that angle. Now it's going to roll back and then roll forward. Not too bad. Now I also want this one to roll and settle in. So kind of roll back a little bit and kind of rock back and forth. So we're going to use that same technique. I'm going to go about 53. One of the things I've kind of noticed, you almost want to triple it. So 54 is about 4 frames, so 72. Drop a key. Now it's going to feel like it's settling back. There we go. Feels a little fast still. Let's move that over. Let's take it to 80. That's better. And you can see that the rotation, it needs more rotation or less translation. So I could just kind of translate it back a little bit. That might help. Oh, that worked out a lot better. There we go. Excellent. So I'm going to jump into the graph editor. I want to show you what 1 frame of rotation being off will do to a scene. Move that over. That's not too bad, actually. Or how about this? Let's have 1 linear and 1 flat. If you look at the translation and rotation, they're very similar shapes because they're doing the same things. If I make this linear, you're really going to see an issue. Not at all what you're expecting or hoping for. It needs to be flat. Flat or auto. Normally everything's usually going to be set to auto. But now we have a rolling ball. Not too hard. So this is what I kind of just really wanted to show you, the idea of a ball rolling. That the translation rotations must work together, and the other trick is the middle mouse drag technique to get that little roll here to anticipate the motion before, like it goes back before it goes forward, and this one kind of pulls back and settles in. So there might be a question, you don't have to do this, but say you wanted to maybe start more vertical. Well, let's go into your graph editor, select your rotation, and select the two keys at the beginning. You want frame 15, that orientation, to be up here. So as you can see, that's where the up spot is, and I have how to pull it back. This thing's rolling so fast, you're really not going to notice that subtle change. So I'm going to lift that up so it starts there, more at a vertical spot. It doesn't have to be perfect, but or actually we can get into the perfect quality. And then here needs to be on frames -720. Pull that down. Now it settles back up. And if you want it to be perfect, select it. You can see I'm off by a few decimals. Now it's at 720. And let's put that at 0. Now it starts vertical and ends vertical. Ta-da! All right. Play blast. This file's name. Good to go. Now we have a rolling ball. Hopefully your mind's starting to wander and think about, ooh, that's how I would do this, that's how I would do this, possibly. If not, I think it will soon. After this, we're going to do the traditional assignment, the descending ball bounce. Very classic 2D test. And we'll do that in the next video.